I didn't go to Vanderbilt. I wasn't smart enough. But I am smart enough to be able to gather and consume a lot of information and come up with opinions of my own and not be so easily influenced by the opinions of others. Now, obviously, I believe we all can be influenced by the opinions of others, whether it's loved ones, friends, social media. Well, henceforth, why they call people on the internet influencers, because people are influenced by their opinions, especially when they have a lot of people who follow them, because henceforth they have to be saying something that's somewhat compelling for people to be following them, at least in some aspect. Some of these people, we all see how people grow and then they change, and we see the real persons that they are over time. And then we realize, like, oh yeah, they're just a scummy piece of shit. And that is really sad to realize sometimes when it's some of your favorite content creators. Like, we've all had somebody that we really admired at some point in time in our life just let us down. Just realize, like, God, they ain't it. They suck. I've been caping for this person for years and I just can't do it anymore. You know why? Because they're trash. They're really a low life, worthless human being. They're not even worth the organisms that's in their body that are already free, given to you by God. We've all met that person. But in this Karmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf situation, I feel like everybody's trying to paint out both people to be colossal POSs, even though they aren't people that we've known really at all. We didn't hear about them until just a week or so ago. Now, ever since the story first broke, we've all been pretty much hearing everybody's different interpretations of what has happened, their interpretations of the facts, when the facts are the facts and not opinions. When we've seen that there's been police statements that have seemed a little fraudulent, and we've also seen autopsies that seem, well, this is awfully early for this to come out, and yet people didn't question it because people wanted to paint a narrative, because people wanted to be first to the base. People wanted to go ahead and get to the tree. They weren't trying to be tagged and said, you're it, you're wrong. They just want to simply go ahead and make the prediction, go out there and just spew whatever narrative they want to, so they can be deemed Nostradamus, so they can be seen as the guru, so they can be deemed as Miss Cleo. Everybody wants to be a fortune teller. Everybody wants to be able to see the future. I got big brain, Timmy style. Timmy! But everybody wants to do that. Charles Xavier, anybody who can see the future, manipulate the world with their mind. Everybody wants to, promote themselves to be something that sometimes they're just not. And it's okay. Most of these people got a third grade reading level, and yet they want to go out here on the internet and act like they have halfway good investigation skills when really they just picked up something on Twitter. But the other day I was watching a random video on Resident Evil, and it was just this random theory coming from this guy Ink Ribbon, who has his own channel basically dedicated to all things Resident Evil. I know, nerd stuff. But anyway, he was making this statement here, and it made me think of this situation.
Be some other thing, but I wanted to make this video before that happens, especially now, because I want to be able to say, I told you, just in case it ends up being true. Because I want to be able to say, I told you, just in case it ends up being true.
Now, to be 1,000,000,000% fair to Ink Ribbon, he was not talking about this situation at all. He was simply just talking about predicting what's going to happen in the next Resident Evil game, whether it's Resident Evil 9 or the next remake, yada yada, via relationships and other stuff that was going on in the series. He was just talking about a bunch of nerdy stuff, which is cool. That's why I was watching the video. But it had nothing to do with the situation. I just found that quote relevant. So I also watched the NGAN interview that they had the other day, which is a different organization, which I don't really understand what the acronym is. I had to go back and read it. I guess it stands for Not Gonna Allow Negroes. I'm just kidding. It's actually a black organization that capes up for black people, which is a good one. I really felt bad for the guy who was doing this press conference. It was like 36 minutes. I watched the whole thing. Once again, one of those things that people need to start doing is actually consuming all of the information. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult to block your time to get all the information you need. But if you don't want to be left out of the loop and turn out to be one of these buffoons who was just baffled in the end and confused at the results of what you saw, then you will start consuming all of the information. You will start investigating just a tad bit. You're not going to just sit around on your butt and just be like, I guess that person in her bonnet is right. Or I guess this random white woman on the internet who's crying her eyes out is telling the truth. No, these people lie to your face all the time.
We have saw the police chief, a statement being sent out by the police chief that was false. We have saw a false autopsy report that was false. We have to caution the community to say, hey, we cannot trust everything that is online. The disinformation that is going online is hurting this case, and it has to stop. It has to stop, y'all.
Hell, it sounds like the case is hurting him. I mean, based on his reaction and the look in his eyes, I would think that he was actually part of the Anthony family. I mean, look, I know that he's representing the NGAN, but I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to think that he's representing Karmelo Anthony, even though he's not really a lawyer or anything like that. It just seems like he's very, very sensitive about this situation to be somebody who's not really tied to it. Though I get, if you really care about Black Matters or you care about Black lives, yada, yada, this is a very disturbing situation because that family is under attack. Just like, you know, probably the other family is under attack from other people based on misinformation because people, once again, just like Increment said, I just wanted to predict it and be the first one there. Because people wanted to be first so bad, they just started putting stuff out there, not caring or realizing what's going to happen to the families. The point being is they don't care. These people just simply want the clout. Now, I know I preach God, family, clout on this channel, but when it comes to stuff like this, I want to get things right. That's how I get the right clout. That's that good, fulfilling clout. You know, the one that makes your heart nice and warm on deep inside, you know, like that. That's what I really want. That's what I desire. But he's right. The misinformation has to stop because it literally hurts people. And we all know this. And I don't know why we continue to perpetuate this stuff and allow it to happen. I'm glad that the police department apparently is literally like seeking out justice for the people that's putting out the misinformation, because if they know it's misinformation, they need to take advantage of it. They need to do something about that. It's just like I have this whole thing, if I ran for office, that I would create laws that would definitely protect people from AI violations, that protected people from this kind of stuff, misinformation, anything that's online, cyber crimes. I'm all for it. And I would punish those people severely, because these things lead to the worst things that could possibly happen to people. People sink into heavy levels of depression where they don't get out of their bed for weeks, and then they get malnourished and then they die, or they just end it all, take a bottle of pills and a whole thing of Everclear, and they say, you know what, that's it, I'll see you later, Jesus. And it's like, you know what, why? And it's all because people are just ruining them on the internet. Look, we can't really get off our phones as much. I mean, you can, but inevitably you're still going to need it. And majority of people, let's just be real, they're all going to go right back to it. They're all going to start swiping again because it's the dopamine. People want to go back and feed themselves through the social media. And I'm not going to shame anybody for it, because I'm already on social media all the time because I'm on here. Now, I don't really check my IG as much as I should. In my Facebook, I'm starting to do better, doing much better, posting stuff on there. And surprisingly, on Facebook, it's doing decent. I might mess around, have to post on Facebook, but we'll see.
We know it right now. Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony did not know each other. They did not know each other. Let's stop it. They were not at a party together. Let's stop the lies regarding this situation.
You ever been in a group photo and you realize, you look around at the people that's in the photo and you start thinking, I don't know all those people. Who the hell is that in that photo? Like, I mean, I know I've been a part of some crazy group photos, and I started looking back at the years like, I don't know that person's name, and that person's name. And I talked to them a whole lot that night, but I don't know them. Just because you're in photos with people doesn't mean you know them. And also, the photo could be manipulated by AI, though I'm not going to say it's AI. I mean, I really don't want to throw that, excuse out there right now. The photo looked like it was what it was. Now, I'm also not going to post it on here because just in case if it is fake, I don't want to promote misinformation. So you can go find it out there. Trust me, it's out there, and you've probably already seen it if you're watching this video at all. Point being is that just because you take a photo with somebody doesn't mean you know them. Oh, he knew him. They went to a party together and they were in photos. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that person's my friend. It doesn't mean I even like the person. You just end up being in the photo. People photobomb all the time. Doesn't mean the person actually knows them. It's just random folks. I photobombed a whole bunch of people. Like, I would like to believe that one day, even after I die, I could go back and look through the Rolodex of everybody's photos and see where I photobombed, where I'm randomly in the background of somebody's photo giving a peace sign and they did not expect me to be there. I would like to actually see that. That'd be kind of interesting. But obviously that would require me to not be here yet, and I'm just, not ready.
We also know that both Austin Metcalf, the twin brothers, were on the roster that day to be at that track meet. We also know that Karmelo Anthony was on the roster that day to be at that track meet. We know they both arrived, all of them arrived to this facility via the transportation of Frisco ISD. The lies has to stop, y'all.
My God, this guy was really having a hard time saying Metcalf. I mean, I know that he was being emotional and he was like going through it during this, whole press conference and whatnot, but it's not Metcalf, it's Metcalf. I mean, has he not seen the name before? I mean, good Lord, I know it's a white guy, but I've seen plenty of black families with the name Metcalf. Does he not know any? Has he never heard of the name Metcalf? Like, homie, you're doing a press conference. Now, maybe he has some type of speech impediment or something that doesn't allow him to pronounce words that have an L after the A and stuff like that. But maybe, I don't know, he was taking some major L's, but with that pronunciation. So I'm just like, homie, like, let's get it together. But overall, he did a really good job during the presentation. And there was a lot of info in there that people should know. But the thing is the main point being was they were at the track meet. People were actually trying to say that none of these people were really running. People definitely tried to say that the white kids weren't running, like they were just there to bully Karmelo Anthony. Like, really? Who shows up to a track meet just to bully somebody? I'll tell you this. Have you ever seen the attendance at a track meet, especially a high school track meet? It's whack. It's pure ass. It's one of the lowest attended sports that you will possibly find outside of like baseball. I mean, nobody goes and watches that. I mean, hell, you would have a better chance of watching people play badminton than going out there and actually seeing a crowd at a track meet. The only people that goes to a track meet are the family and supporters of the people that's in the track meet. Usually there's more people on the track meet than there actually is in the stands. There's just usually nobody there. And hell, this thing did get rained out. So the people who have questions about like, well, why would they approach him underneath another tent? And why was he underneath their tent to begin with? Apparently they were just trying to find somewhere to take shelter, because if you're getting stormed on to the point that the track meet is canceled, I'm guessing that the rain was extremely heavy. I'm just assuming. Maybe I might be wrong. I could be off with that, but I'm assuming you're going to seek shelter if the rain is heavy. If it's a light drizzle, they're not going to cancel the meet. They'll still run, even though it's a tad bit slippery. They're like, no, we're not rescheduling this, bitch. We're going to do this. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and line up. Wet or not, let's go. Wetty or not, let's go. I mean, that's so corny. As to the other part, nobody knows if they bullied him or not. No clue. People are just coming up with that fact. Now, maybe some of the eyewitnesses are telling the truth. Maybe some of the people that were there who are saying things that are similar, like, hey, they weren't trying to intimidate him. Maybe that is the truth, and that's where we got to get it from. But we don't need to be getting from random folks that's out here on the internet. We need to get it from people who were actually there. There was quite a few people there. Somebody saw it, and that's the people we should be talking to, not the random MRFers that were in states away giving their random opinions. I just don't think those are the people I would trust in this situation, would you? If somebody said that you murdered somebody or that you stole something from a gas station, would you want people to trust the opinions of those who were in that grocery store, or the person who was around maybe the murder, or trust some security cams as opposed somebody who was just spewing some nonsense that they heard out there on Twitter, or something that they heard on Fan Base, one of the most random apps that you could possibly find? I'm telling you, I just that's not the person I think you would want to listen to. And even I had that question at first. It's like, why would he bring a knife to the track meet? And even one of my friends brought up to the case. He's like, man, this case is very similar to the Kyle Rittenhouse case. And I was thinking, how is this similar? It doesn't seem similar to me at all. I watched Kyle Rittenhouse shoot those people in the street. You know what I'm saying? I watched that happen. Now, I know he was claiming self-defense, but that was the point of what he was telling me. Karmelo is just claiming self-defense. Kyle Rittenhouse killed 2 people, obviously claimed self-defense. Karmelo Anthony killed this kid, obviously claiming self-defense. We don't know why they claim self-defense. I mean, Kyle, whatever. This, we don't know. We have no clue why they claim self-defense, because we weren't there. He might have really been getting jumped, like people said. And also, people have to remember, open carry state, Texas, Florida, here in Tennessee, all sorts of different things can go on. All bets are off in these states. I'm telling you, you can literally, I made a video a while back. I mean, it was a long time ago, back when the channel was really ball sack. But I'm telling you, there was this guy walking in a red jumpsuit downtown Nashville. He was just walking on the sidewalk with an assault rifle in hand, just walking along like nothing bad was gonna happen. And it didn't. The only thing that happened was he got arrested. The only thing that happened after that was the fact that they had to let him go because he didn't violate any laws. He wasn't threatening anybody. He was threatening people's mental state. They were getting a little crazed and scared because, well, who wouldn't be scared of a person walking down the sidewalk with an AK? I would. I'd be heavily nervous. I'd be highly nervous. But you know what? He committed no crime, so they had to let him go. Just like there. Now, personally, I don't think I would pack a knife with my tracksuit and uniform, but maybe Karmelo decided I just needed to have a little heat on me. I don't know. Maybe some people were talking shit somewhere else and he was like, look, today is not the day. Now, unfortunately, the brother of Austin Metcalf did admit on live television that Karmelo Anthony said, don't touch me. And I'm guessing his brother touched him, and unfortunately, it was like the last thing he touched besides the gurney. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good thing. And that you need to listen to folks when they have threats. When they have threats, this is why you just don't go up to folks just trying to be a bully, or you don't go up to folks trying to start shit, because you never know what might happen. Talk shit, get hit. One of the first girls I used to like semi-talk to, you know, like she had that bumper sticker, talk shit, get hit, and I'll never forget that. It's very true, very relevant to life. Some people are really wanting to smoke, and then some people are just like, today's a bad day, don't F with me. Now I know Karmelo Anthony admitted to what happened, but he was also distraught at the fact of what happened, probably confused that he actually did what he did, and he self-snitched and said, oh my God, I know I did it, but is he okay? So there's also the part of him is like, oh my God, I can't believe I did what I did. Too late, unfortunately, you committed the heinous crime already, but we don't know what took place before that. And I'm just tired of people trying to misinterpret that. And it has to end, just like bruh said. Also, once again, I wanted to point out the fact that why do people believe that these white kids weren't on this track team? Like, are y'all still stuck in this racist world so much, like either white or black, that you really think white people can't run track? They run track all the time, and it ain't just the long runs. They're fast. White people are athletic. I don't know why some of y'all are still stuck with this dumbass mindset that white people aren't athletic, like they don't have skills. My best friend is white, and he was one of the most athletic people that I've ever seen in my life until he tore his leg like 12 different times. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, he just kept coming out and playing and tearing it again. It was a whole mess. I just know that they are athletic, that they can go out there and run track too. You think that football players don't run track? Who runs track? Majority football players. That's who's out there. Now people are like, yeah, they were big, they were tall, they were swole. So yeah, that doesn't mean they were automatically trying to intimidate and bully him either. None of that is concrete either. We don't know that. But the fact that people really were trying to throw out there that they weren't even on the track team, that is so ignorant. I should slap you in the face. Baby powder, everything, true Rick James style. Like, that's what I really should do to you. But once again, I just kind of wanted to talk about this, give you another perspective, balance it out a little bit. Because look, I told you, I don't have extremist views. I don't. I like to see things out to the end. I want true justice. We're not going to fix anything in this world by constantly falling for race bait. And it's always going to happen. And I get it. There was a white kid and a black kid, and a white kid died, and they need to start marching in the streets and getting pissed off and sending out tiki torches and burning down buildings. No, they really shouldn't do that. But I mean, you get what I'm saying. I just get really tired of seeing people react so emotionally to everything. But there's also a part of me that has to just accept, like, that's life. That's just how people are. And we cannot fix everybody. And I've stated it here on the channel before that if we fix all these people, then we have nobody to talk about. Unfortunately, this world needs flawed people for us to criticize and make fun of and laugh at so we can have more entertainment. If you don't have flawed people, now this isn't that entertaining at all. This is just a sad tragedy. I mean, a pure travesty, and I hate it for all people involved, especially the families that now have to mourn and deal with the aftermath of what these young kids done got themselves into. Because now everybody else is getting death threats and hate mail, and their car might get blown up, can't leave their house and stuff like that. Because trying to defend your family's name, trying to defend that your kids might be a bully, your kid might be a killer. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you're trying to defend, and everybody's trying to get the facts. But let's just stick to the facts and not opinions. Facts over feelings, guys. Let's just do that. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, revenge plot, all of that sounds good in movies. In real life, that's crap. In real life, that just ends up with loss of life and tragedy and funerals, curtains, black suits, black dresses, sad people. That's all that leads to. I don't understand why we keep trying to promote this. It's a dumb thing to do. Two wrongs don't make a right. That cliche will never get old. There's a reason why cliches are around. It's because they're usually pretty relevant and pretty true and pretty easy to remember. So remember that one. And also, if you stuck around to this point, don't forget to remember to hit that subscribe button below, or at least like the video. And I will see you soon.